Hello everyone, greetings from Kharkov, Ukraine. My name is Svetlana and I'm the leading matchmaker and dating coach at Diolli.com. This year, in 2020, we had a really hectic February. We have scheduled more than 60 first dates and the February is still going on. So till the time you see this video, probably we will schedule more dates for more clients. And this February we have received some really wonderful happy news from our ex-clients, and as I have already told you in some of our videos, there is no such thing like an ex-client for Diolli.com for our team of Cupids. So just a few days ago we have received really inspiring happy news that one of our couples whom we have introduced last spring got married in the US. Congratulations to you if you are watching this, you know who you are. And also 3 other couples who are waiting for their K1 visa have finally received their K1 visa. And one of these couples is actually already reconnected in the US because they were so eager to celebrate February 14th together. I don't even want to think how much our ex-client had to pay for this last-minute ticket, but according to the photos they have shared with us and they post on Instagram, it was definitely worth it, and they are so happy to finally be together in the US. So anyway, 2 other ladies keep texting us that finally they can start planning the weddings, planning the trips, to be with their beloved, and they can't wait to start this new chapter in their love life, in their life, and to finally build their life together with their beloved man. One of these ladies has texted me earlier today that she had to tell her boss that she is leaving her job, and she said that she has even cried because of it, because she really loves her job and most of her colleagues are her dear friends. But she also said that these tears, they are like bittersweet, because it means that she is going to start the new chapter with her beloved man, that they are going to get married finally, they are going to decorate their house like they wanted, so she's looking forward to that. To prevent all the gossips and misunderstandings, I have to tell you that no, we don't work only with people from the United States. But yes, we have some clients from the US, and it just happened this way that this February is a really lucky February for 4 very lucky gentlemen from the US. Hopefully we will receive more happy news this spring. We actually are looking forward to some wonderful news from the UK, from Portugal, from Singapore, from Germany, and from Australia. So we hope to hear about new engagements and moving in together. We are keeping our fingers crossed. So I was thinking about our happy February couples, about our February lucky couples that are going to settle down in the US. They all are very different and they all have their unique history, and of course each couple is unique. Even though the gentlemen are from the same country, they have different professions and they represent different age groups. So 2 gentlemen are self-employed, 1 gentleman is a university professor, and 1 gentleman is in the military. 2 gentlemen are in their late 40s, 1 gentleman is in his middle 30s, and 1 gentleman is in his late 30s. 2 gentlemen have never been married, 2 gentlemen are actually divorced, and 1 gentleman has a kid from the previous marriage. And their best halves, their ladies, they are also quite different. 1 lady is divorced and has a child from the previous marriage. 3 ladies have never been married. 1 lady is in her early 40s. Then we have a lady in her late 20s, and we have 2 ladies in their early 30s. We have an accountant, we have a lawyer, we have a manager for the IT company, and even a school teacher in this mix. These ladies, they have really different looks, really different personalities, really different aspiration about life. They all are fluent in English. This they have in common. So I was thinking, these are our American clients, now ex-clients, who are in happy, engaged relationship with wonderful Ukrainian ladies. One of them is married. What do they have in common? They have such a different look, such a different type of personality and understanding what family life and relationship should be like. For example, one of these gentlemen, he prefers his now wife to be a stay-at-home mother. They both want to have a child really soon, so he believes that there is no sense for her to invest her time and energy into building a career in the United States, because He already has a career and he can provide a really good level of life for himself, for his lady, for their future kids. So they both have decided that there is no sense for her to invest time into career. So his lady, she approves on it. Another gentleman, for example, is super excited to support his lady in her aspiration to build a career. He is really proud of her career in Ukraine, and he is looking forward when she will start going to job interviews once they are done with the wedding in the United States. The third gentleman has just bought a new apartment, and he really hopes that his new wife will help him to decorate it. And they have a long list of places to travel to. They want to see Sydney, Tokyo, Moscow, Paris. They want to visit all national parks in the United States before they start having babies. They are looking forward to doing all of this together. The fourth couple has decided not to think too much ahead. They both had some really unpleasant experiences in the past in their previous relationship, so they have decided to just enjoy the fact that they are together and to take things slow. This couple, before getting engaged, they were dating for almost a year, then they have been engaged for almost a year, and now they are finally getting married. They are looking forward to having a long honeymoon, and after that they have decided that they will choose the city and maybe even the country where they will settle down and build their life together as a couple. So as you can see, these couples are very different. Their plans and hopes for the future are really different, so are their long-term goals. But they have one thing in common: they are in love. They truly mutually respect each other, care about each other, and they love each other. They are happy together. They are happy to find a special partner. So I was thinking about the dating strategy of these gentlemen. What do they have in common? And I have come up with a conclusion. All these gentlemen were always looking for a person, a really special lady who will love them, who will really appreciate them, respect them, and who would be on the same page with them long term. For example, our client, a professor in his late 40s, was looking for a really sweet, intelligent lady, someone who has strong family values, someone who will challenge him intellectually. And he ended up marrying a lady in her early 40s who, just like him, loves classical music, who is really family oriented, and as he confessed later, they can talk for hours and never get bored. Our 35-year-old client, who is successful both financially and professionally, was looking for a sweet, down-to-earth lady who won't compete with him and will actually appreciate him not only for his banking account but for a man he is. He ended up falling in love with a beautiful school teacher who is sweet, sincere, and really gets his jokes, and when she is looking at him, he has a feeling that he is the best man in the world, and for her he really is the best man in the world. Another couple has to overcome lots of difficulties with the paperwork. The gentleman is in the military, and the military didn't make it easy for him. And also he is divorced and has a child from the first marriage, but his fiancée has showed so much wisdom and patience. She has overcome all these complications with the paperwork with so much grace that he couldn't stop admiring her and her attitude. He truly thinks that she is not just one in the million, she is the one, she's truly the one for him. The other couple had a really tricky background. The gentleman had to go through a really nasty divorce, and later on he was breaking up with his ex-girlfriend, and it was not nice. So it was really hard for him to trust women again, and it was really hard to really get to him. He has built such huge, strong walls around himself. He was burned really badly, and such an experience, it reflects on our future relationship, even if we don't want it, even if we are super smart and try to avoid it by all means, but it happens. But his new girlfriend, now fiancée and soon-to-be wife, our female client, she was really patient and supportive with him. She makes sure that their relationship was super transparent and built on trust, and she avoided all hands-on games and manipulations, and they are very happy together because she is wise, because she is patient, and because she really loves him truly. So what do these all couples and gentlemen have in common? They have never limited themselves to the exact age or to the exact number or to the exact hair color, for example. They were looking for a lady that will truly love them, mutually love them, appreciate them, and who would be on the same page about relationship, about family values, about gender roles, about money, about long-term goals. They were thinking long-term. Unfortunately, there is always a client who tries to limit himself to the exact age or to the exact looks. He can't even explain why. I will share a few educational stories with you to help you understand the difference. For example, this same February we have organized the dates for our other client, this time the gentleman from the UK, also a professor who has just turned 50 years old. He was looking for somebody smart, somebody classy, somebody who will challenge him intellectually, someone with similar vision about relationship, about gender roles. He also has mentioned that he would like to have children because he didn't have any and he has never been married. So we ended up introducing him to a beautiful lady who has just turned 41 years old. She's also a university professor, and it just happened that they're doing research in the same field, so they really had lots in common. They read similar books, they even attend similar conferences. Their first date lasted 6 hours, and we are not talking about the date when you attend the wine tasting, the entertainment show, the dancing class, so you're entertained all the time and conversation is just part of the entertainment. We are talking about the dinner date. So they were talking and laughing for 6 hours. Later on, he would confess that the conversation was so smooth and he didn't need to think of the topic at all. Like, it was just going naturally. And the lady has given us the feedback that he is so smart, so intellectual, so sweet, and she loved his smile. It was boyish and cute. The lady definitely wanted to meet him again. They had another date which lasted 5 hours, and again the conversation was really good and the chemistry was there. We could tell by their feedback that they really were into each other. Then the gentleman has surprised us by telling that he wants to keep dating to meet other candidates. Okay, sometimes it is a healthy thing to do so that you compare how you feel during another date. His next date was 35 years old, and now you can tell me, why on earth have you introduced a gentleman who is 50 years old to someone who is 35 years old? From the very beginning, I have told this gentleman that he really should consider dating ladies in their early 40s. And he shouldn't go younger, but in his mind, like 35 or 37 had some magic, and he was going for this age. To be honest, it was really hard to find a lady who is 35 years old and who would be open and really interested to go out with him, and he is 50, I will remind you. By the way, our client, he is not ugly, so he looks good for a gentleman who is 50 years old. He is tall, he's athletic, he works out, he has a full head of hair. He wears stylish glasses, he is stylishly dressed. His energy is different. So when you are talking to him, you get the vibes. For example, I had a feeling that I am talking to a friend of my parents. He is very mature. I guess partly because of his profession. So the jokes he chooses, the topics he brings up, the way he talks, and even the way he carries himself is very mature. Anyway, we have found this lady who is 35 years old who has agreed to go out with him. Their first date has lasted 2 hours, and after the date the lady has shared her concerns. She said that he is definitely intelligent and he looks good for his age, but she is concerned about the age gap. She said that she didn't feel quite comfortable during this date, so she was not sure if she wanted to go on a second date. The gentleman really wanted to meet her again, so we have convinced the lady to give it a try. Their second date lasted also 2 hours, and now the lady was sure that because of the age gap, she doesn't want to proceed meeting him, because she felt like she's talking to the friend of her parents. Similar attitude, similar feeling as I got while talking to him. Then we have introduced him to a lady who was 37 years old. Also really hard to find. And same feedback, they also had 2 dates that lasted only 2 hours each, and the lady told us that she had a feeling she is meeting her uncle or she is meeting her parents' friends, that he is like very mature, and she was not getting half of his jokes, even though she's like very fluent in English, and it was quite complicated to find the topics. Now let's return to his first date, to the lady who is 41 years old, and dates with her lasted 6 and 5 hours. She is very mature for her age. I'm not speaking that she looks mature. She looks very good for a 41 years old girl, really beautiful. But I believe partly because of her profession, because of her hobbies and interests, she gives you these mature vibes. The topics she chooses, jokes, I guess this was the reason why they were getting along so quickly and easily and could spend 6 hours talking and not getting bored. Why has this gentleman decided not to go out with her? Because of the age. At first he tried to give us excuses like, oh, we don't like same music. For example, I'm not sure I felt chemistry, but if you had a date that lasted 6 or 5 hours, chemistry has to be there. You can't just spend 6 hours in the restaurant if there is no common interest. You have to be talking and you have to genuinely like each other, at least that bits of information that you are getting about each other. The gentleman later on confessed that he would prefer to date someone who is 35 or 37, and he was scared by her age, 41. Mind you, he is almost 10 years older than she is. Later on, of course, he can give some excuses to myself and even more to himself that, oh, I want to have children, and if she is 41, we will have some complications. I'm not a doctor, and if you're going to consult a doctor, and if you are going to think of all your friends and surroundings, I'm sure you will find out that there are people in their 20s who have difficulties conceiving children, and there are people in their 40s who are having like their third, fourth kid, first kid. It is not about the age only. The lady has to be willing to have those babies with you. And in the case with this lady who was 41, having kids in the next 5 years was a priority for her. This was partly the reason why we wanted to introduce her to our male client, because not only they have so much in common, their interests and personalities, also this desire to have kids and to have them soon. I would call such a meeting a really huge luck, because a lady who is 41, open to date a gentleman who is almost 10 years older, is willing to have kids, is sharing his interests, and you're having like 2 fantastic dates that last 6 and 5 hours. But in the mind of this gentleman, he's not actually looking for a person, he is looking for the exact age. Can this gentleman reach his goal and actually date the exact number? Can he attract a girl in her 30s? In theory he can, but he will have to change his personality, the way he talks, the choice of jokes, his interests, topics he brings up on the date, the way he is talking to the lady, courting the lady, his flirting techniques. It will require time, and probably it will take him at least 2 to 3 years to change it, to practice it. And in these 2 or 3 years, he will grow older. And of course, the pool of candidates, the age groups of ladies who will be interested in him, they will also grow. So I don't think it's that smart to do it. So he just let the wonderful lady with whom he had 2 fantastic dates, 6 and 5 hours each date, he just let her go. Why? Because he was too focused on the exact age and the exact number. He was not looking for a person. So do you actually think that dates that last 5 to 6 hours are that common and happen that often? I can honestly tell you, no, it's like very rare. And again, I remind you that we are not talking about the date when you're attending a concert or you're doing a master class. A date when you're actually talking, interacting and entertaining each other for 6 hours. There has to be chemistry, there has to be mutual interest, and you have to really get the sense of humor of each other. You have to like each other, to be willing to spend these 6 hours together and not to notice the time. I have witnessed a similar situation. We had a client from Canada, and he was French speaking. He was meeting a lady, and we actually had to change the interpreter because the date lasted almost 8 hours. For 8 hours they were talking, and they did not even use the same language. The lady didn't speak French. After 5 hours of this date, the interpreter was so tired, so they had to call us, and we had to send the new interpreter. And they were still talking. They moved from the restaurant to the bar, and they had so many jokes to share, and she was making jokes with her body, and he was laughing. The interpreter said that, wow, she was quite sure that it was love from the first sight. Their second date lasted 5 hours, and again they were having a great time. They were joking, they were talking, they were using their body language. We were quite sure that we feel the couple in the air. But then this gentleman has surprised us. He told us, I would like to see more candidates. I want to be sure. And we were really heartbroken because such a chemistry, such a connection is quite rare. So we have introduced him to the lady who speaks French because he saw that now he is looking for someone with similar level of chemistry but who speaks French. And their date lasted only 2 hours. Then the gentleman told us that I would like to pursue this lady with whom he had this 2 hours date. They had a second date. And he told us that he sees more potential in this date because she speaks French and she can drive a car. Really, like in the mind of this gentleman, if she can drive a car, she can really adjust to Canada quickly, and she speaks French, so it is easier to date this lady. I have asked him, like, are you looking for a driver? Why are her driving skills so important to you? She can learn how to drive in several weeks. Like, Canada is not India or China where the traffic is so hectic, I would be scared to drive there. It's Canada, like, it's not like it's very complicated to learn how to drive a car, especially if you're not going to drive stick. So why it is so important to you? And the language, if you have such a strong chemistry, like she can learn the language, it's not a big deal. But the gentleman was very stubborn. The relationship with an easy girl who already has spoken French and could drive a car lasted 4 dates. After that, the lady told us that she doesn't feel chemistry and she doesn't see much sense in going out with him again. I don't really want to give you a conclusion to this video. I hope you will come up with the conclusion yourself. Maybe you will share it in the comments below this video. I just want to remind you that you are looking, if you are single, for a special partner, for the whole partner, for the real person. You are not looking for the perfect age or for the perfect set of skills. You are not looking for a perfect picture. You are looking for a person. I wish you all only strong mutual love. Svetlana Mukha from Diolli.com.